To really give focus to the Changing Age campaign, we've defined the Changing Age Charter. And the Changing Age Charter is a series of statements about ageing that are informed by fact and not by misconception. So the points of the Charter, first of all, are to say that we believe the increased lifespans that we enjoy represent one of humanity's greatest achievements. Used to be the case, of course, that many people would die young. And what we've been able to do is to postpone the age at which people die so that now we can live longer and longer and longer and enjoy better health. The second point is that increasing life expectancy is an economic good. Far too often we hear people talk in negative terms about what is happening to the costs of pensions, the costs of healthcare, the costs of social care. But this overlooks the fact that people living longer is an enormous positive contributor to the economy. Those extra years of life that people are enjoying are years in which they may be productive, contributing to society. They are helping to increase the demands for goods and services, all of which is helping to grow the economy. The third point of the Charter is that ageing concerns us all. Often when we talk about ageing, people tend to think of the elderly, a group of people who are separate from the mainstream of society. It just isn't true. Old people are people who were young once, and so they have that continuity across the life course. And it's worth remembering that ageing concerns even today's newborn babies, because they in time are going to become old. The next point of the Charter is that each individual has an equal place in our society, regardless of age. One of the great scourges of society today is the effect of ageism, which may be, overt, in-your-face ageism, but far more often it's subtle belittling of older people simply because they are older. So we see it time and time again. It sort of creeps into conversations, it creeps into social and even political commentary. It's time to call a halt to that and to recognize that discriminating against people on the basis of their age, just like racism, just like sexism, is something that cannot be tolerated in today's world. The next point is that much better information about older people is needed. And this is something where within Newcastle University we're conducting research which is really looking in detail that has never been used before at the state of lives of people who are very old today, so people who might be 85 and older. We need to recognize there is enormous diversity among older people. So it makes no sense to bracket all older people together and to use terms like the elderly. They simply shouldn't be allowed, because what they do is deny individual older people their distinctive place in our society. The sixth point of the Charter is that older people are an under-acknowledged asset in our society. The mental capital and skills that older people have with them too often goes to waste. We need to recognize that arbitrary ages of compulsory retirement or of exclusion from any of society's activities, including education, are discriminatory and should be abolished. Older people are individuals. They have life experience, they have skills, they have contributions to make, whether that be by continuing in some kind of work or by participating in the wider activities of society. The seventh point of the Charter is that we need to use and to expand our scientific knowledge about ageing. It's an interesting thing that most of what we think we know about the ageing process is turning out to be just plain wrong. And this is coming from scientific and medical research. So what we need to do is to use that knowledge to transform the organization and the priorities that we've adopted within health research so that we can take account of these new advances in understanding the connection between aging and the other factors that affect our life, our health, and our well-being. And the last point, the eighth point of the Charter, is that we're beginning, but far too slowly, to adapt this infrastructure in our society to an ageing population. With greatly increasing numbers of older people around, we really need to think about how we adapt our transport systems, how we adapt our housing, how we adapt our patterns of shopping. Everything really that affects us in our daily lives needs to be rethought so that older people are not excluded and so that we effectively make space for older people and remember that these older people are our future selves.